my IT enthusiast. Guess what I got in the mail last night?
A career?
Don't self-project, Steve. That's extremely shameful. I managed to land a major bargain on a newer laptop, which is worth over 600 big ones. I'm talking about this bad boy, the IdeaPad Flex 5 15-inch double I L05. I was so excited to get my hands on that. On this, that I stayed up past my bedtime last night working on how I want to present the diagnosis on it. And if you are just as excited as I am, excluding the bedtime part, tell me how excited you are by leaving a comment down below or even subscribing for more exciting stuff. Okay, let's get our hands dirty. Today I'll be showing you how I typically go about diagnosing a machine and some elementary things that you'd usually expect when you receive a TLC job like this. For a refurbished job, the fact that this machine turns on and has all of its primary components is fantastic. It's great. So immediately we don't have to worry about any critical hardware failure as we tear it down. For reference, the seller did verify that the primary problem with the machine is the Digitizer glass and it being broken. But the machine itself was not extensively tested, so you can see that when we open her up. I'll be using the same toolkit from my last assembly video with my Xiaomi. I'll probably include a little tag at the top so you can check it out if you are interested in looking at that. Going on to the teardown, you usually want to have a guide for exactly what to do, which is somewhat provided in the instruction manual of when you buy the computer. To avoid accidental damage due to some weird design choice by the manufacturer. Take most older HP Pavilions, for instance. But I'm experienced with laptop disassembly and I can mostly identify quirks in design and such, and IdeaPads are usually extremely straightforward, as you can just remove the bottom cover and get all the major components exposed like that. Next off, since we already identified the primary issue, we want that digitizer out. Now, you may be possibly asking, Nick, isn't the digitizer the same thing as the screen? It's not 99% of the time. Even in this case, where the digitizer is adhered to the LCD is perfectly fine, but the digitizer is absolutely broken. So we need to take the entire thing off. Now, how you want to safely go about doing so is to undo the laptop bottom hinges, then lift the screen assembly off and go from there. Now, what I like to do from time to time is just undo the screen assembly itself detached, given how difficult it usually is to get the entire thing off. And the primary form of that difficulty is the stupid Wi-Fi antenna connectors that like to either snap or simply don't want to reattach to the freaking Wi-Fi card because they're so small and most of the time they so happen to be attached to the LCD assembly behind the screen or the bezel. But by God, someone must have listened to me and answered my prayers. They put them in a position that is out of the way and isn't absolutely just asinine. I wish this was more common. Alright, making sure you remove all the connections attached to the screen, we want to work its hinges off. Another important common issue that you may have seen as I was getting it off, the screw holes may become unattached when you open the laptop up. Fortunately, there's only one of these screw holes that are unattached, and since it's a fairly solid design, it's not disintegrated. I'll just be gluing it back in place with some super glue. Now, here's another important little fact. Usually there would be a bezel around the screen frame hiding screws where you'd simply unscrew to remove the LCD or the combo assembly. But the bezel is only a small portion underneath the LCD this time. This will almost immediately tell you that our good friend adhesive is being used to keep this screen in. So keep that in mind. With these Lenovo computers, they usually use two strips of double-sided tape as the primary mechanism to keeping the LCD on. Usually this tape is fairly easy to just slowly work off, but if you have trouble and break this adhesive, it's going to be extremely difficult to get it off, usually involving heat or just having something extremely long and possibly just forcibly getting it off like that. But I would usually recommend just not tearing it at all. And there we go. We've got the digitized assembly out and we're ready to order the new parts. It's fairly simple to find a replacement for these simply by typing in the model in the computer and just saying screen replacement or whatever other part replacement you need. But you can also use the manufacturer's number that's usually on the back of anything like this and just look up the part. And that's about all we have today for the diagnostics. We've identified what is immediately in need of repair and we are awaiting the new parts. I can't wait to release an update video on this repair job in particular. And so that you don't miss out on that new update video, make sure you subscribe to be notified of when it's being released exactly. That's all out of me today. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. See ya. Hey, glad to see you made it to the end of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. TPG out.